Hey there, it's Edmund Pelgan from Online Kickstart, and today I'm going to talk to you about search engine optimization. And I want to thank John for allowing me to talk to the boardroom and to go through this topic, which I think is a really critical one from a marketing perspective. The videos that I'll be doing include this one, which is an introduction to search engine optimization and is probably relevant for those who aren't familiar with SEO. And then the next video will be a moderately detailed step-by-step process of implementing SEO for your physiotherapy business. And then there are probably a few other videos there that I'll go through specific tactics like keyword research to help you understand how your audience is searching for you online. So let's jump into the presentation. So about me, my name's Edmund Pelgan. As I said, I've been doing digital marketing and SEO since 2005. I've been a business owner, a digital agency partner, and I've also run my own SEO agency. And I've been on both the agency side as well as the client side, working with a whole range of big brands and small businesses. And recently I've spent a lot of time working with John in this space, working with physiotherapy business owners and helping them optimize their businesses for SEO or to get found in organic search, which is primarily in this case, Google. So what is SEO? Most of you have probably had some exposure to SEO or search engine optimization via those emails that you get every day with people offering you great page one results for $50 a month, right? Well, it's just not the case. Fundamentally, SEO is a process of affecting a website's visibility in organic search results when your customers or your prospective customers are researching products or solutions, right? Or taking steps to actually buy a product or engage you as a solution provider. That's it. So SEO covers all of those things that we're going to do both on your website as well as off your website to improve your visibility in organic search. And when I say visibility, I mean you showing up when someone actually goes to Google and searches for a specific keyword phrase. Now, what's involved in doing SEO? It's not rocket science. Ultimately, SEO providers may want to talk to you about the complexity of their work. And yes, it can be complex, but ultimately it's a very simple process, right? So step one is ultimately understanding the keyword phrases that your market uses to search for your products and solutions. And that's really critical. If you know how people are searching for you or researching the problems that they need you to solve, then you'll have a better understanding of how to optimize your website to get found for those specific phrases. So that's the first thing, understanding your customers and the keywords they use. The second thing is you need to address the technical problems that your website may be experiencing, which are going to slow down or impact the way that it ranks. And this is probably one of the biggest things that I see. Every new website that I get into optimizing always has technical issues. Either they're not properly optimized or they're slow to load. They've got all sorts of issues which will impact how Google can crawl the pages on your site, figure out what they're about and rank them. So that's the second thing that we do, is to figure out what those technical issues are and fix them. And then as part of that, obviously we optimize the pages for those keyword phrases that we found in step one. And then we create unique and helpful quality content and pages, which obviously includes the service pages on your website, as well as any other pages that you may want to create to get found in organic search, to rank for interesting and related topics that will bring you potential customers. And then once that step two is done, we then go through the process of acquiring topically relevant quality links from relevant websites. Now, what do I mean by links? Now, a link is simply, it is a link from a third-party website to yours. And the most basic version of this is, say, a listing in a directory site, or you might be listed in an industry or association site. And when there's a clickable blue link back to your website, that's a link. And ultimately, it's the quality and the relevance and the number of those links which over time will improve your rankings for specific keyword phrases. So once we build those links, you want to make sure that your website has a way of converting that traffic into customers. And this comes down to obviously good conversion-focused web design, that you have pages that speak to your customers, that you have pages that have relevant information on them, and that you have the relevant calls to action. You know, click here to buy, click here to make an inquiry, click here to book an appointment. You need to have mechanisms by which you can convert that traffic into customers, because there's no use ranking well in Google if customers will get to your website and then not figure out what to do. They don't do what you want them to do, which is make an appointment. And then finally, what I recommend to people is to start looking at ways of using paid traffic to amplify your SEO efforts. Because the one thing you need to remember nowadays is that SEO, whilst it was and is and continues to be a main traffic channel, it's not the only one. And the reality is it's far beyond the point where you can rely on simply one traffic channel as your primary mechanism for generating website traffic and leads. You need to look at all of them, both paid, both organic, which is SEO, as well as social media. And those tools working together will amplify each other. And you will get traffic that comes in via Google that you can then market to with your paid advertising, get them on your email list, that sort of stuff. And it gives you a better return on your investment in SEO. So, next steps. How is SEO success measured? So, if you've got Google Analytics running on your website, there is going to be a breakup of the traffic that gets to your website. And it splits it up into a number of ways. Organic search, which is the traffic that comes from SEO. Direct, which is people typing through to the website. Obviously, email, if your website is properly set up and your email system is tracked, you'll be able to determine that visitors come from your email campaigns. Referral traffic is people coming from other websites, and obviously social and then other. So SEO success is going to be measured by increasing the organic traffic to the website and the conversions from that organic traffic. Conversions being people making an appointment or a booking, right? So you can see this in the organic traffic channel in Google Analytics. So that's at a very basic level, that's how your SEO success is going to be measured. Now, one of the key things that is really important to understand about SEO is that it's really critical to understand user intent. And what do I mean by user intent? What I'm talking about is why your prospective customers go online, right? The intent will drive the keywords that they will use, and then those keywords will drive how you target them. So understanding intent, if you look at the screen in front of you, you can see that we have various different types of intent. So commercial intent obviously is people looking for you at a location, so service plus location. Their keyword phrases will be populated with words like buy or purchase or cheap. But in this case, for professional providers like yourself, it will primarily be looking for a specific service in a specific location. So that's a commercial intent keyword phrase. You can easily determine that. If a keyword search is ultimately looking to do a transaction or make a booking or something like that, it's commercial. The next type of user intent searches are informational intent. So people looking for information. They'll use keyword phrases like what, when, how, etc. In the retail and other spaces, they'll be searching specifically for restaurants and hotels. In your industry, they'll be searching for information about the conditions that you treat. Back pain, elbow pain, things like that. Anything medically related, anything that's pain related or problem related, that's an informational search. It doesn't necessarily translate into an immediate commercial activity or intent because it's too early in the buyer's journey phase, if that makes sense. So if I've got a sore elbow, for example, I might start researching tennis elbow, etc., and I might find an article, but that article may not be on a website that is that belongs to a local provider or a physiotherapist. So informational intent is good to target, but it doesn't necessarily result in commercial transactions. Obviously, there's searches that are around location, so people looking for directions, routes, ways to get places, etc. There's navigational searches, and what this means is, for example, sometimes some people will search for the login URL of their favorite insurance company, or they might be searching for your portal, and they'll search for things like login, download, password reset. That's a navigational search. And then finally, there's branded search. Now, branded search is probably one of the most important things that I'd like you to keep an eye on. If you're doing good, broader, top-of-the-line marketing and advertising and promotions to your customers and patients, you're building brand awareness. And brand awareness makes people go to Google and search for you by name. They search for you by name with your address. They search for you by name and the keyword phrases like comparison if they're trying to compare you to other people, etc. The reality is a branded search term, your business name, is a keyword phrase that you can rank number one for very easily, and you should rank number one for. So making sure you understand the different types of user intent, which translates into the different types of keywords they use, allows you to better target them. Now, user intent is important because it allows you to target traffic across all sections of the buyer's journey. Now, if you look at this graphic on the screen, you'll see that the buyer's journey is the process of a buyer becoming aware of you, expressing an interest in your business, and then finally going through that process of consideration and purchase. Now, this is quite a complex process. The reality is, for most physiotherapy practices, the buyer's journey, if they don't know you, is going to consist of a search for a physiotherapist in their location, right? So further down the bottom of the funnel. But the reality is there are opportunities to target people across this whole buyer's journey, and to build the awareness of your brand even before they're looking for a search provider. All right, so just be aware of that. And in that case, I was talking about previously about things like elbow pain or back pain. So let's say you wrote the ultimate article that was how to treat elbow pain, and someone found that online and suddenly became aware of your brand, and then you might be able to promote to them by getting them to sign up to your email address or running paid ads to them. But the key thing is they find you on an article about elbow pain, they suddenly become aware of your brand, and then they'll go and do a Google search when they're ready to do business with you. So that's an opportunity. One thing to remember, though, is that your informational content can rank all over the country, and not necessarily is all of that traffic going to be people in your area. So just be aware of that. Right. So why is SEO important? You'll see articles in the press about SEO being dead and all this sort of stuff. But the reality is SEO has broadened to become more than just keyword rankings, right? But now I'm going to go through a couple of slides to explain why it remains important. So the reality is high rankings in Google still drive a lot of traffic and sales, right? As you know, the data shows that most of the clicks to any website will come from a search result that occurs on page 1. And high value transactions from high value keyword rankings or high keyword rankings, it does increase the value of those transactions. If you're not on page 1 organically, ultimately you're going to have to run a Google ad. And if you're running a Google ad, it means you're going to bid on a specific keyword phrase. And that keyword phrase is going to cost you money per click. So depending on the cost per click of that keyword that you're bidding on in your Google ads, it determines the value of your page 1 or organic rankings, right? The frustration or the challenge in this current environment is that if you look at that graphic on my screen, you'll see that page 1 is not what it used to be. The organic number 1 position is being pushed further and further down in the organic search results. And this is because Google is a money-making ads company and they want to run ads. And so obviously their ads are going to appear at the top of the page. Furthermore, the organic listings are pushed down because Google is now running maps listings. What you see there is a 3-pack of a Google map listing, and those are delivered for local businesses. And then sometimes you'll see there's a whole range of other different search results there, and obviously the move to mobile has been changing that. I'm going to go to the next slide now and we can look at the complexity of the search results. So page 1 is now very crowded, right? It's no longer just the 10 blue links. And if you see on the right hand side that screenshot there of a mobile search result, Google has moved to predominantly ranking websites by their performance in the mobile search results. So does your website load quickly on a mobile phone? Is it content is mobile optimized, etc.? It's ranking based on how your site performs on mobile. And the issue is mobile screens are smaller. They have less space for ads and also organic listings, and are primarily populated by ads and other useful bits of piece of content at the top. So for example, Google ads always dominate the search of the top of the search results page, pushing you further down, right? Mobile first ranking further reduces the number of spots that are available, pushing you further down. The results pages now typically include things like videos, news, stories, images, featured snippets, and answer boxes, which are a special type of Google search result that answers a question. And there's also sections there that say people also ask, and so it lists those various other searches, once again pushing down the number 1 position in organic search results, right? Furthermore, search results are personalized by device, right? By your location, by the nature of the search. You can do different searches now, and you'll see that the layout of the search results page will change, right? Depending on the nature of the search, whether it's informational, whether it's commercial, whatever. The search results are changing, right? So the reality is the increasingly complex search results pages require you to understand how to properly optimize your website and content to get found for these various opportunities. And what I mean by that is, for example, let's say a search phrase that you want to get found for that potentially could generate customers for you was showing lots of videos. Well, that's telling you that you need to probably create optimized video content. If you're a local business, which you are, then it's telling you that you need to get found in local search. You need to be in Google My Business, things like that. So the nature of the search results page that you see is telling you, hey, if there are more images, I need to be optimized for images. If it's all local, I need to be optimized for local. It's telling you where and why you need to be participating in organic search, right? The other reason why SEO continues to be relevant is that SEO affects the whole marketing stack. Now, what do I mean by that? So in the past, SEO was like, hey, we want to rank for specific keyword phrases, right? But the reality is my role as an SEO practitioner is expanded far beyond that. If you look at the graphic to your right, this comes from a tool called the marketing stack. And what it tries to describe is that the three red layers that you see there are critical for all digital marketing activities. Infrastructure refers to your website and all of those other systems that technically your business relies on. Analytics refers to having Google Analytics and other reporting and tracking tools on your website and on your digital systems so that you can track the performance of not only SEO, but other digital marketing channels. And then content obviously refers to the content on your website, the content on your service pages, the content on your social media, all content that relates to your digital marketing channels. And right at the very top, you can see those three green boxes are the channels by which you communicate. And the first one obviously is paid. And then earned and owned refer to areas where SEO can have an impact. Earned is things like press mentions, articles on third-party websites, people sharing and talking about you on social media. You've earned their attention. And owned, obviously, is content that you publish on your website, your web pages, your blog articles, things like that. So you can see that the infrastructure and analytics and content are the foundations for those three things. If your website is slow to load, if it is poorly performing on a mobile device, then when you run Google Ads, for example, it will be impacted. So SEO is critical because part of SEO's responsibility is to make sure that those technical issues are addressed, that the infrastructure is sound, that the web pages load quickly, that they're optimized for mobile performance. So SEO impacts the performance of your website, which directly impacts the performance of your paid ad campaigns, your landing page conversion rates, as well as the general user experience. And also, SEO impacts how your brand is perceived online, right? I said to you previously that one of your key goals should be to have people searching for you by your brand name. And how you present in the search results is directly as a result of SEO. How your pages are optimized, how the page titles and meta descriptions are written, right? When people search for your brand, it's not only customers, right? We get prospective partners, investors, people who might want to buy your business. They'll go online to search for more information about you, and they will conduct a brand search. And so SEO will impact how you look online. It shows and impacts how your pages appear, right? So it's really critical. And it also is about making sure your site is included and optimized to present properly on third-party sites, whether they're directory sites, whether they're industry association sites, things like that. It's an SEO responsibility. Right. So how do we determine, is SEO important for your business? Now, I already can tell you that as a local-based business, as a provider of physiotherapy services in a local area, SEO is critical for you. But just to give you some insight, what you want to look at is, one, are there many commercial searches, right? You can use keyword tools to go and do an analysis to say, show me all the keyword phrases relating to physiotherapy in a specific city, and you'll see that there are a large number of commercial intent, what I call bottom of funnel phrases, right? So if you can see that those phrases exist and they're a good monthly volume, so the volumes you see there are monthly, then that tells you that SEO is an opportunity for you, that you should be considering and using SEO in your marketing mix and activities, right? Second thing, are there many informational searches? Now, in this case here, if you look at the phrases relating to lower back pain, you can see that there are thousands of searches there. Now, it tells you that you need to write content to answer these questions. And that information, that content on your website is useful for your website visitors, however they got there, right? One thing that I do want to point out that's important to know that is that if you had an article, for example, ranking number 1 for lower back pain, that would generate a ton of visits to your website. But just be aware that not all of that traffic is relevant traffic. Not all of those people are going to be in your geography or near your business. And some people may not be looking to engage a physiotherapist to treat their back pain. They might just be doing general research. So just be aware that whilst it's good to target this in these informational searches, you just need to be aware that not all of it is going to be relevant because of geography or whatever, and not all of it is going to translate into commercial transactions. But it's helpful content for your visitors, right, who found you locally and they want to learn about back pain. You could share this via email or social, etc. But what I say is, if there are a number of informational searches around the conditions that you treat, then it's probably worth engaging in SEO to create that content and rank it. And finally, are your competitors active in SEO? If your top competitors are ranking for both commercial keyword phrases and informational keyword phrases, and those rankings are generating traffic to their site and they're getting bookings from it, then you need to consider that SEO is probably going to be part of your marketing mix, right? The other thing to remember is that a lot of your competitors, if they're running what's called remarketing campaigns, they're taking advantage of people who come to their websites via SEO, who may discover them, but who may not, in fact, make a booking in the first visit. So what they might be doing is running paid remarketing ads, which will show ads to people who visited the website but didn't take the right conversion action, right? If your competitors are doing that, then it kind of tells you that they're using SEO to generate first-time visitors who didn't come in by the brand, and then using remarketing just to pick them up and make sure that they're converting them to make a booking. And also, finally, you want to look at if your top competitors are publishing content that is what I call linkable and shareable. That sort of content is important because it attracts links to your website. And if you've got competitors who are creating really useful, evergreen content resources that other people would naturally link to or want to share on social media, then that's telling you that SEO is probably worthy of consideration as part of your broader marketing strategy. Right. In the next video, what I'm going to do is go through a process of how you can implement SEO for your business. I won't go into a huge amount of detail, just enough for you to make sure that you as the business owner are aware of what the key processes and steps are, so you can have this conversation with a provider or your internal team to make sure that SEO is being delivered correctly in your business. I'll see you in that next video.